What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Kirby's Barbecue YouTube channel. It is an early morning, so bear with me. I am running on like fumes here. I've been working since last Wednesday. It's Saturday, so let's see. Wednesday, 7 days. Thursday, 8. Friday, 9. Saturday, 10. So 10 days straight. And for some of y'all, that's normal. For me, it is not. Usually I take a day off or two in between there. But this was a busy week getting the new smoker and everything. But without going down that rabbit hole, today we're going to talk about seasoning your proteins before they go on the smoker. So I don't season mine overnight. I season them the morning of that I'm going to be smoking them. So we're going to start with turkey. I always use a warm water binder for a binder as far as my seasonings go. Don't really need mustard or anything like that. It's just another product that you're going to be using that's more cost. Water is typically just about free. So warm water will really make the surface of the meat tacky and allow the seasoning to stick. Mustard, mayo, hot sauce, all that stuff typically doesn't add much taste or anything to it. So there's no point in wasting the product, especially when you're cooking at volume. Now, the first thing I always like to start out with is the 16 mesh black pepper from HEB. Doesn't really matter where you get it from as long as it's 16 mesh. But we go ahead and do a coating. Try to hold that shaker up high so that you can really control where it's going. You want to get a nice, even, thick coating of black pepper. Okay. Then we're going to go in with our kosher salt. Same thing. And you want your turkey to be flavorful, so you don't want to be shy with the seasonings, but also you don't want to make it too salty, so you got to be careful. The third thing we put on our turkey is garlic powder. So nothing too crazy on the turkey. Salt, pepper, garlic, SPG. Okay. Light coating of that. We're going to pat it, not rub it, but pat it. And the reason why we pat it down instead of rubbing it is because we want that seasoning to stay exactly where we sprinkled it on. We want these to look real pretty when they come off the smoker. We don't want a bunch of splotches of seasoning everywhere. We want these things to look beautiful with nice pepper all throughout, garlic and salt all throughout. But the pepper is really what's going to be visible to the naked eye when it comes out the smoker. So you want to make sure that that looks good. I see a lot of people who kind of put together a rub. They mix everything together and then they literally rub it into the meat. I don't like doing that. I don't think it looks good. It looks splotchy, looks uneven, and just not showroom quality. You know, it's not presentation perfect. Okay, so we got the top. That's essentially what the top's going to look like. I'm going to come over to the camera and make sure you guys can see that all right. Yeah, you guys can see that okay. That's essentially what our turkey is going to look like. And then we are going to season everything else and take these trays out to the smoker. So, SPG on the turkeys. On the ribs, we're going to do something really crazy with the ribs. So don't click off the video just yet. Okay, get these unwrapped. So yeah, I've been pretty much in barbecue mode for 10 days straight. And for me, guys, I got to be able to turn it off at some point, get a day off, at least one day off. And usually it'll be Monday. I'll take completely off and not even think about anything barbecue wise. And then Tuesday, I usually get my trucks, and that'll be a light day. I try to just focus on inventory, get my trucks, stuff like that, and then enjoy the rest of the day. And then Wednesday usually starts my week. Okay, so once again, warm water. Nice little spritz. All right, and then we're going in with black pepper. Once again, nice and high, even coating. Do 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 do. And the backside of the ribs, you really don't need an extensive amount of seasoning. I wouldn't not season it, but you don't need to go crazy. And we're just going in with salt and pepper, guys. That's the crazy rub for the ribs. We're in Texas. I like to say I have a classic style of Central Texas barbecue. And so for the turkey, like I said, SPG, nothing crazy. For the ribs, salt and pepper. Very simple. Very simple. It's all in the way it's cooked. And obviously the glaze that we're going to put on at the end here. All right, so we'll spray the tops of these. And this is what's really important, the ribs and the brisket as far as how you're seasoning. So once again, you want an even, nice coat of black pepper. This is going to help you build up some color, build up a little bit of bark. Okay, and it's going to make the ribs just stand out when they come off the smoker. Once again, you know, some guys will rub their seasoning into the ribs, and by the time it comes off the smoker, it just looks like a hodgepodge splashed on seasoning or something crazy. These ribs, if you saw the picture on my Instagram the other day, you see the seasoning looks really good on there when they come out the smoker. It's very evenly coated. You can see sprinkles of black pepper throughout the rib, and it just makes for a really awesome presentation, especially when you get that glaze on there. So real nice even coating of black pepper. And since we're just seasoning with salt and pepper, it's okay for us to be pretty generous with the amount of salt and pepper. Can you over salt and over pepper? Yes, you can. But you want to make sure you get enough on there to where it's flavorful. Okay, so that's what the ribs should look like right there. All right. And I'm going to give you guys an update later in the video on how they turn out when they come off the smoker as they're cooking. Okay, now we're going to move on to brisket. We're going to move on to brisket. Before we do, though, I'm going to go ahead and get these on the smoker. So I'll see you when we get back. All right, and we're back, guys. So we're going to go ahead and show you how we season our briskets. So something I do days in advance is make sure my briskets are trimmed up. That way, on the day of the cook, I can just come in, season them, and throw them on the smoker. So same thing, warm water binder. Okay, we're going in first with that 16 mesh black pepper. And you're going to see something a little bit different than some of the other guys on YouTube when it comes to seasoning their briskets is I am not shy on my seasoning. I want to make sure that when you take a bite of brisket, that it is flavorful. There's nothing worse than spending $30, $34 a pound on brisket or more, and you take that first bite and it just doesn't have a whole lot of flavoring going on. You can tell somebody cooked it low and slow, 12, 14 hours. They put a lot of love into it, but you can tell that the first step, their seasoning, they did not put enough seasoning on the brisket. And that's a damn shame. You know, I think that it is not easy, but a lot of barbecue places have found out how to get great texture in the brisket cook, but not all of them have figured out the right salt level for their brisket, because you end up getting pieces that are just underwhelming. You know, it could be cooked perfectly, but if the seasoning level isn't right, then you're not going to get the full experience. So I make sure I season the hell out of my briskets. That way, every bite is going to be a great one. So we do a pretty classic once again on seasoning: salt, pepper, Lowry seasoned salt. You know, there's not many secrets here on the Kirby's Barbecue YouTube channel. I'm pretty upfront, honest with you guys. So hopefully y'all appreciate that. Once again, guys, we've got our grand opening here in New Caney, Texas next weekend. Okay, if you're in the area or willing to travel, come check us out. May 30th through June 1st. That's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're gonna be rocking out, man. We're gonna be rocking out, and I'd love to have you guys there. Also, another announcement is that on the 30th, the barbecue business coaching membership, channel membership, will be going up to $100 from $50. So if you want to get that one-on-one business coaching for your barbecue business, sign up now so you can lock in that $50 and be grandfathered in. Okay, so as you can see, a nice, generous coat of black pepper. That's going to help us build a really nice bark. It's also going to make sure that we get a good peppery taste when people bite in to that brisket and they get that bark. So, and you've got all kinds of philosophies on seasoning. Some people season the sides of the brisket. Some people don't. Some people season the bottom of the brisket. Some people don't. They say, hey, it doesn't matter. As long as the top layer of the bark is good, you don't have to worry about it. I don't believe in either of those things. I believe in seasoning pretty much the entire brisket. Because, like I said, I want every single bite to be great. So that's what it looks like. So we got 3 more of those to go. I will show you what they look like when we get them on the smoker. All right, guys, so these are 4 perfectly seasoned briskets. It is a fine balance. You want to make sure you get a thick covering of seasoning, but you also don't want to cake it on and do too much. Pretty much just what sticks to the meat is what you want to take with you, because if you put any more, then it will start flaking off as the heat hits it. So yeah, we're going to throw these bad boys on the smoker and show you exactly what the smoker looks like with the meats all on it. And then we'll wrap up the video, but this was your seasoning video as requested. All right, so all the meat seasoned on the smoker pit. That's how you season your proteins. See you in the next video.